Tonight, Hunter Biden speaking out for the first time, defending his business dealings in Ukraine, saying he did, quote, nothing wrong at all, but acknowledging to ABC News what he calls poor judgment.
Did I make a mistake? Well, maybe in the grand scheme of things, yeah. But did I make a mistake based upon some unethical lapse? Absolutely not.
Biden was given a position on the board of a Ukrainian energy company, which reportedly paid him $50,000 a month, while his father was vice president.
If your last name wasn't Biden, do you think you would have been asked to be on the board of Burisma?
I don't know. Probably not. I don't think that there's a lot of things that would have happened in my life that if my last name wasn't Biden.
Hunter Biden's faced withering attacks from President Trump.
Hunter, you're a loser.
Tonight, Biden says he will no longer work for any foreign companies if his father becomes president, still insisting he does not regret his actions in Ukraine.
What I regret is not taking into account that there would be a Rudy Giuliani and a president of the United States that would be listening to this ridiculous conspiracy idea, which has, again, been completely debunked by everyone.
All of it a new challenge for Joe Biden, now sharing frontrunner status with Elizabeth Warren.
And I got a plan for that.
Biden now targeting Warren.
It takes proven ability to get things done. We're not electing a planner.
Tonight's debate will also be a critical moment for Senator Bernie Sanders returning to the campaign trail for the first time since that heart attack earlier this month.
Hey, NBC News fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.